Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Sweet Remedy again. Incidentally, if you spend $2 here Monday to Friday between 7 and 8 a.m, you'll get a $2 coffee if you're wearing your lycra. I'm so excited. Episode 18
We're
this
adults.
week.
We're adults.
We're adults. We can drink.
We can drink.
And he's back.
I'm back.
Togga's is back. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm
Togga's
not-
back. Where have you been? What'd you get up to?
Well, one, I am back, and there are certain advantages of being back.
What's
'cause
that?
I got to see my family.
Yep.
My daughter.
Yep.
Turns 13 tomorrow. Mind. Happy birthday,
Happy
Ali.
birthday, Ali.
I've been in Italy for 2 weeks. To be honest, would probably still like to be in Italy, but come
look,
back to.
27-degree winter here in
Well,
Perth.
it's not quite 27 degrees. I had leg warmers and arm warmers on today because
Soft.
it's a
No,
bit
what-
cool. It was, where I was, it was 36 to 38.
So what were you actually doing? Because everyone says, you're telling everyone you were working,
Yeah.
and everyone out there knows fully well, if that's work, we all need to get a different job.
Well, I was working, but it was very enjoyable work. I was at a bike hotel on Lake Garda in a town called Peschiera del Garda.
What's the bike hotel called?
It's called Garda Bike Hotel. It's owned by Nicola Verdolin and his brother Alberto, and they asked me to come over and help them out in a busy period. They had a couple of events on, including the LA Eddie Merckx
Yep.
Grand Fondo of Verona.
We saw that little video.
You saw the pre-ride of that, and they were a bit short on guides. They had a lot of Australians, a lot of Englishmen over there, and they needed someone who could muddle past in Italian, which I can do, and who's pretty good on English, which I'm passable at, but I have friends who would question that.
No Germans there?
There's a lot of Germans.
A lot of Germans,
A
so
lot
you
of
would have been
Germans
all
on Lake Garda, let me tell you. The Deutsch were there. And someone hasn't put their phone on silent.
That's a carton.
That's
Oh,
a carton
no.
for Maddie Pointer. So I spent 2 weeks taking the good ladies and gentlemen from Melbourne, from Cambridge, from various parts around Europe on rides around Lake Garda.
So what do you do what do you do for the full day? Like you get up in the morning.
Get up in the morning.
Of course, it looks like Australia. Get up in the dark, 5:30 a.m.
No,
put the lights on.
Not quite.
No?
No, not quite. It's a bit lighter, a bit earlier there in the middle of summer. I got up, I'd have some breakfast, have 1,100 coffees. 1,100. I would then, after my breakfast, I would find out what rides were on for the day. There'd be a ride posted. I'd go down, unlock the bike room, get the bikes ready because there's a lot of hire bikes there for people.
Hang on. They put you in charge of the bikes.
I am the best mechanic in the hotel. Bear that in mind.
You watching this, Chris Glasby?
I would then do adjustments for people, saddle heights, head stems, this and that. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable.
What tool did you use to do that?
A hammer.
That's all right.
Then we would go out on rides, and you sort of leave anywhere between 8:30, 9:30 is probably closer because the traffic's a bit better, and you do your ride, get back sort of between 2 and 4, depending on the ride. Be a few coffee stops on the ride. Most of the rides would have a minimum of 1,000 metres of climbing. Some of them up over 2,000. Some of them are supported by vans, some of them not. You get back, you'd park the bikes up. There'd be a little bit of adjusting to do, a bit of bike cleaning. You'd have some lunch.
Did you do that?
I did do bike cleaning too. It's unbelievable. I know. It's very hard to understand how they would trust me
This
with
man
that.
has got a bike hanging in Chris Glasby's garage
Every
year
week.
round. He's they rotate three or four
rotate,
bikes.
they
Never
do.
touches a bike in his life. Anyone who survived the Garda Bike Hotel while he was there, buy a lottery ticket.
Done well. Then once that's done, go to room, shower, have a bit of a rest, then down to dinner, talk to the guests, make sure that they're happy, find out what was sort of the plan for the next day. It's all very loose in Italian. What they say might happen that night often changes.
Often changes, but one thing, you caught up with our favourite.
Got a day off because as much as you'd like to ride every day over there, after the 7 days and 30 hours of my first week guiding, needed a day off. So I took the train into Milan. That took about an hour and a half, a very pleasant train, and caught up with Jessica Allen. We went for a walk into the Duomo in Milan, had a good catch up, a good chat. We had some lunch. She was firing. She was really looking forward to going to the Giro. Very, very motivated. And lo and behold, the
then?
next day she fell off and broke a shoulder.
The Tognini effect, we call it.
I don't know if it's my fault because
I didn't say it was your fault.
but she did fall off. But she's very upbeat, having conversed with her a bit since. She's quite, she's quite,
Well, she's hard as nails.
She is hard as
number
nails. When she first spoke to me, she said she thought she'd still be able to do the Giro. It'd just be a bit painful, but I think the doctors stepped in and said, no, sorry, my girl, you won't be doing the Giro. And, then people like Annemiek van Vleuten spoke to her and said, look, you're young, get fit, have a really good second half of the season, potentially go to the Worlds, do something there. Don't push yourself because, you could potentially really hurt yourself by doing that. So she's young, she'll get another chance.
A crash is a crash.
Crash is a crash, it's bad luck.
Yeah.
Some people would say it's tragic. I don't say it's tragic, it's just bad luck. Tragedy is a whole different thing. She will bounce back and she will be stronger and better.
Now, obviously, Jess is over there doing beautifully, and we follow the Orica girls very closely. We also follow the WNT girls. But there's a lot of other West Aussies doing stuff around the world at the moment. Jai Hindley.
Third in the Baby Giro.
Won the last stage, won the Queen stage. What a ride by that young lad. We've got Michael Storer over there who's going great guns. He's on a break at the moment. Cam Meyer and Sam Welsford in the other part of Europe, in Belgium, around that area. Cam's had 2 wins. Sam's had 2 wins. I see Kel O'Brien, the Victorian, racing with them as well. He's up there in the
Lucas
podium.
Hamilton was second in the Baby Giro.
Yeah, he's up there as well. We've got Stevie Hall. Every time Stevie Hall posts a photo of what he's doing in America, he's on the podium somewhere. He's won, I think, 2 different state championships since he's been over there. I think he won the Harlem Crit, or he got a place in the Harlem Crit. No, I think he won the Harlem Crit the other day. He won the Harlem Crit the other day. He was being held up by Marty Nostein, the former Olympic champion, racing at T-Town. And I also noticed that Stevie's skin suit had the green and gold bands on. Well done, Stevie. Wear them with pride because you deserve to have them.
Every time.
Favourite of the show, a good mate of ours, Michael Freeberg, has hit the ground running. He stepped into the ISO Way team, his new contract, went to the Tour of Korea and manhandled all of the lead-outs over there. And, of course, Bunbury's own Scotty Sunderland, big stage winner by about 20 lengths at one
70 plus k an hour in the sprint.
Absolutely.
Great video
firing
on
boys.
the Book of Faces if you can find it. It's magnificent.
Absolutely going great guns. Now, the Under-19 Nationals took place in Geelong over the weekend. And there was a time trial and there was a road race, and there's no worries about that. The boys and the girls did pretty well, but it was WA Day come Criterium Day, because well done to saddlist Bryce Lanigan, who won the Under-19 Criterium Championship, and to Jade Haynes. Of course, Jade Haynes, as a first-year junior, won the state Criterium Championship. She's a national champion as an Under-19.
She rides for the Bike Breaks team. She's done
Bike Bookings
team. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good result for them.
Kids. Very good indeed.
We had a good weather race at Pickering Brook on the weekend.
Pickering Brook, the Element Series, good numbers, good racing. A few DQs for going over the white lines, we're told. So
a few speaking twos too.
A few more speaking twos. A few people got off lightly.
I think if you're going to DQ one, you've got to DQ them all.
DQ everybody if you're going to DQ. It's the only way it stays safe. But no fines as far as what we know, because I'm against the fining. I'm all for the DQing. The West Coast Masters were out at Mount Helena over the weekend. Mount Helena's a hard course, very hilly course. Nothing to speak of as far as... Well, here's the first thing. The racing didn't get stopped, so therefore it's fairly obvious that everyone did the right thing. Now, something that I rang Merv Byfield, who's on the council at the Masters, and he just told me a little bit of story earlier. To give you an idea of what these clubs have to do, sorry to be doing all the talking, but to give you an idea of what these...
It's not unusual for you, Matt.
I can talk. Mel Davies, who is the man who holds the clipboard down there at West Coast Masters, just to give everybody an idea of what these clubs have to do to go through to put races on for everyone. He did 6 hours of door knocking around this week's course, Herne Hill, basically asking all of the residents who live on the course if it's okay for us to race there and so forth, because this is what the councils are saying we have to do if we want to keep these courses. So if you hear us bleat on about keep to the left,
respect the road
rules, respect the people of the area. Also,
don't have a comfort break in someone's front yard.
That's the one I was about to say. Don't have a comfort break in someone's front yard, because all this sort of stuff is going to get us kicked off courses. It's like it's gone from virtually nothing to boom, it's all happening this year, and it is all happening this year. So
we've already lost Wandy. We came
Wandy.
close to losing Pickering Brook.
Yep.
Herne Hill is touch and go. So do the right thing, or we don't have courses, we don't have racing, and sport dies.
Sport dies. Now, this week, another race that's on Saturday afternoon. Peel Districts are on again, and they are on Saturday afternoon out at Dog Hill.
No hills at Dog Hill, but a really, really good course. Get out there, support them, they do a great job. Mate, got a very, very good email from one of our friends, Brett Russell, Funky, pointed out that we would do it, that he really liked our show, gave us a bit of feedback, and for that, Funky, you get some Feeler socks, courtesy of Merv Byfield at Feeler.
Yep.
Thanks very much for that, Merv. Brett will organise for you to get those, get them to you sometime in the next couple of weeks.
And of course, our first winner of the socks was Bob Mulden. We did give the socks out. We gave them to Bob's mate Adam, and Adam hasn't passed them on yet, Bob, just to let you know. So
he's probably wearing them as we speak.
He's probably wearing them. He's that sort of guy.
And Funky, you'll get those socks.
Now, one of the biggest changes in cycling commentary history is going to take place this July. No longer is the English-speaking world outside of America going to hear the voice of Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwin calling the Tour de France. And the reason for that is...
we have a good friend of ours.
Two good friends
of ours, Matt Keenan and Robbie McEwan. Robbie used to race with Big Matt here. They are doing the English language commentary for ASO, who run the tour. And that's going to be beamed out not only to Australia, but the entire English world, bar America. But Americans are, as we would say in Italian, in ritardo.
They don't like change. They don't like a lot of change.
But I reckon it's the best thing that could have happened. When you watched
so.
the tour last year, Robbie and Matt did the first half, first 3 quarters, and they swapped to Paul and the old fellow who got everything wrong.
No, he doesn't get it wrong.
Well,
you are going to miss the voice of Liggett. There's no doubt about it. He's got the voice.
I'm not. But that's, it's my personal view, and it was a bit disjointed. I thought Robbie and Matt did a better job. It's my opinion. A lot of people disagree, but obviously the people at ASO don't. They see the future as Robbie and Matt, and I say, Robbie in particular, Matt's got an encyclopedic knowledge of the sport.
There's nobody more professional in the game than Keno, and we're not just blowing wind up the backside here because they are mates. No one's more professional than Keno, and nobody has adapted to talking behind the camera over the top of bike racing quicker than Robbie McEwan. He does an absolutely excellent job.
He got the job on the Hammer Series.
Yep.
Totally off course from this because he's such a natural at it. He's just very good. So we're looking forward to a totally Aussie commentary team for the tour this year. You'll still see Phil and Paul. They'll do a little bit either before or after, a bit of analysis. But the mainstays of the tour, Robbie and Matt this year, hurrah.
Just very quickly, Tour de France coming up. We had Rowan Dennis sandwiched the Tour of Switzerland, winning the first time trial and the last time trial. But as we go to air with this show today, he's still only on the reserves list for BMC, so he may not be riding in the service of Richie Porte at the Tour de France. The national championships are happening this weekend for all the European countries, so a big weekend for the Euros.
Big hullabaloo in Italy. If you don't ride the nationals, you don't qualify to ride for the national team at the Worlds. So every Italian pro, World Tour or not, who wants to ride the Worlds, and it's a good course this year for the Worlds, has to turn up to their national title.
Well, they'll all be on the start line anyway, won't they? They'll make sure of it. Folks, if you want to contact us, matt1@iinet.net.au.
We look forward to your feedback. Need more of it.
Tell us what you think about the new commentary at the Tour de France. Tell us what you think of us. We do care.
Sometimes.
We do care. We're 18, so we're off to have a drink. We'll see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.